Hello guys and welcome back. I know it's been a very long time, but here I am. And today I am going to invite you all to take on a journey with me in this new series about self-control. So basically I found a Bible plan on Pinterest, and I was just called to start it. And while I was starting it, today's literally my first day too. I don't know, I just felt as if God was telling me to record it and have you guys follow along with me. So here I am, starting alongside you. And how this works is that every day I'm gonna read a different verse, and I'm going to ask myself 3 questions. How do I understand the scripture? What does the scripture say about self-control? And how do I apply it in my life? The third question is a question that I will leave to you guys at the end of each video, because it's different for all of us. So without further ado, let's start. Starting this first day, we have 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, my favorite verse of all time, and it says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and of self-control." Now, how do we understand this scripture? This scripture was specifically written by Paul to Timothy. Timothy was a young man starting like a brand new ministry, and Paul was trying to guide him, as Paul was the guy who taught him, Paul was almost a father figure to Timothy. And Paul is saying to Timothy and us that we must live knowing that we have the power of God, that we have His love, and that we have the ability to have control over our thoughts, our actions, and emotions. And it's not easy. Now, what does it specifically say about self-control? It specifically says that God gave us a spirit of self-control. That means that we have it. That means that God gave us the ability to have control over our every life actions and emotions and thoughts. And I know it's very hard because intrusive thoughts exist, and intrusive thoughts lead to intrusive emotions and intrusive actions sometimes. And we all make mistakes. But part of life is maneuvering our way through our mistakes, repenting and coming to God, and learning every day something new. That's where self-control comes. As we learn, we must learn to control ourselves from our past mistakes. That is something that is vital to self-control. If we don't learn how to control our past mistakes, then we will keep repeating them. So God gave us the ability. But the important part is the beginning of the verse, because it said that God gave us that spirit. So that means that the closer we are to God, the better we can be, and we are, at having self-control. But the farther we are from God, the harder it is, because we are separating ourselves from the one who gave us said spirit of self-control, said spirit of love, said spirit of power. So if we separate ourselves from Him, how can we have self-control? And when we are referring to self-control, I am referring to emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Because you may see people that claim to have self-control over their emotions, but what about in the spiritual aspect? Because spiritually means getting closer to God and fighting the spiritual warfare we live in. And that is not easy. That is why we need God by our sides. That's why we need His power, and we need His love. Self-control refers to all 4 of those aspects. It's not just physically, not doing certain things, whether it's lust, anger, whatever it is. Emotionally and mentally, anger, lust, all those things are interconnected. And spiritually, having self-control over spiritual life is important. Sometimes it requires discipline to follow God, and we must have control over ourselves in order to do that. Now, to leave you all with the third question, how do we apply this to our lives? For everyone, it's different, but I do recommend that you take this verse to your heart, that you memorize it, and you live by it every day. And there's more specifics to that, but it's dependent on our own. So I will leave you all with the assignment to figure out how do you specifically apply it to your life, and to memorize this verse. See you on the next one. God bless you all. Bye.